Okay, guys, I'm getting kind of partial to this hot chocolate and whiskey, but I wanted to make a video about a question I got, and the question was, what do you do about family and friends who come looking for handouts when shit hits the fan? Of course, you know, they know you prep, so they know, they're going to be coming and asking. First off, like I always say, loose lips sink ships. I know that's family, but still, gotta think about it. I mean, if they're not on board, which only 2% of the U.S. are going to be preppers, so odds are they're not going to be on board. So they're going to go and tell everybody they know and get a good laugh on you drink and oh, my cousin, so and so, you remember, him. He does this and he stockpiles food, blah blah blah, and they're gonna, something bad happens, they're gonna remember that good laugh they had on you. So what I recommend is, their emails. You just make up some bullshit email and send them information, right? Maybe look into it that way, but don't tell everybody what you do. That's the number one mistake that's gonna get preppers killed. So if they obviously know you prep, they're gonna show up at the door. And they're going to expect to be sheltered, fed, and protected. In the I'm Coming to Your House video I did, a lot of the same rules apply to family, especially distant family, in that situation, where I said that if you're a plumber or a mechanic, you're not going to get a free ride because someday I might need your services. Someday I might need you to fix a car or a truck or something, or I might need you to repair some water pipes or something, right? That don't mean you get a free ride until then. That means you work while you're there, and you're there because you're trustworthy, number one, and number two, you have a skill, right? I can't tell you if it's right to try to save extended family members by risking the lives of your own immediate family. I wouldn't do that. It's human nature to help. On one hand, you got more people, the better off you'll be fighting off any, hostile threats. But on the other hand, there's more mouths to feed. It's a tough decision. And, I mean, few people can look someone really in a time of need and tell them to make like a tree and get the fuck out of here, right? That's not going to happen very often. So just first off, don't tell everybody what you do. What I would do, if you did go around telling everybody what you do, when they bring it up, say you quit. Oh, nothing ever happened. You're right. People laugh, and I'm just wasting time. And so I ate what I could. I got tired of it, and I donated the rest to a food bank. Right? Who's gonna doubt that? Right? See, I have a wife and daughter. I can't take chances inviting some third cousin I only see at funerals or weddings or something like that, probably a couple times in a decade. Right? I'm the head of my family. It's my duty to take care of them. Put them first. Right? So I store a little bit more than what's needed for the three of us. Of course, it'll last longer, but I know of a few people that I would probably take in. And I'll get to that in a bit. Prepping requires sacrifices, right? To do without things, to put money aside for preps. If you're a prepper, in one way or another, you're denying your family of things, right? You put money into preps, so that's money you don't have for eating out. That's money you don't have for vacations. That's money you don't have for going to the movies. That's money you don't have for expensive phones. Right? What it is what it is. You're doing without. That way you can do with during a time of need. And it takes years of doing this to get to a preparedness comfort level, right? That you can sleep at night with. Then you have to worry about if the families that you invite in are trustworthy or not. Right? You could be endangering your immediate family if they're not. So you got to make the right decision. I always say, don't tell people what you do. Right? Loose lips sink ships, man. I can't say that enough. But be careful about, just because they're family. Think about it. Let's say you have somebody in the family that's into drugs or alcoholic or real hothead, right? And get an argument and wind up telling everybody because they're upset or something, right? That could cause problems if neighbors hear it. You've got a mob on your hands, and you can't deal with that realistically, man. Not without risking your family, right? Yeah, you got guns, but there may be guns on the other side too. Best way to win a fight is not to be in one, and inviting the wrong people would cause problems there. So, just look at basic supplies, right? If the way I see it, I wouldn't take food off my daughter's plate to hand it to some adult that should know better, but doesn't care, right? Blind to what's going on around them. Blindly listen to what they see on TV. They don't even know what's going on TV. They get most of their news off of Comedy Central. So, I'm not responsible for them. And I'm not taking food off my daughter's plate to give to them. So let's look at these supplies. Let's talk about this, right? Let's say you're a family of 3. And like mine, right? And you have a year's worth of supply. We'll just use 1 year to make this simple. You have a year's worth of food. You're a family of 3. And you take in another family of 3. You just cut your supplies in half, right? But now you got 6 months worth of food. Let's say there's a husband and a wife, right? They put a year's worth of food aside. And they take in a family of 4. Well, then they've reduced their food to about 4 months worth. If you're a family of 4 and you put enough aside for a year, you invite a family of 3, a family of 5, and then someone brings the in-laws. You reduce your supplies to about 3 months. Get the picture? And that's assuming that everyone in the group that you've let in understands that food is rationed. There's no seconds, right? It's rationed out. Because if they have sticky fingers and they get into the cookie jar, man, that's going to really diminish that even lower. And all that long years of prepping, all that time of prepping, well, gone down the drain. And if they're careless and tell somebody, or somebody sees them with food, they say the wrong thing, you have a mob on your hands, and it won't last a day till they break down the door and take what you have. And again, you could say, I'm going to, there's a bunch of keyboard commandos saying that, okay, I got guns, I'm going to stop them. But, hey man, you could lose some of your family members in the process. Even if they don't hit you, bullets going in your general direction, if your family's behind you, So, let's talk about me. I personally don't have the issue with extended family coming around. I don't tell people directly what I do, right? I have a lot of extended family that I don't even communicate with. I don't really have that problem, right? It's not because I'm a prepper, it's because of family fighting years ago, and I chose my side of it, right? They didn't agree with somebody, so, and that person was very important to me, very dear, my family member, and I'm going to stand by them, and that's the way it is. And, hey, that's fine. So, I just want to talk about my family, blood relatives, right? Not close friends, not fellow preppers. We're just talking blood here, because I think that's where most people are going to have the problem. I have a brother who's a prepper, a father who, he puts up food. He believes in having good amounts of food laying around. And he has skills like handyman, carpentry, plumbing, electrical work, AC repair, a little bit of masonry. I mean, basically, all kinds of, you can almost build a house. So electrical work, all that kind of stuff. So he has skills that be valuable. I have a younger sister. She's not a prepper at all, but my younger sister, she doesn't tell everybody what we do. She's quiet about it. And she's my little sister, so she gets a free ride because she's trustworthy. And of course, when she comes, she's going to help grow food and do stuff like that. But that's it. She doesn't have a husband or any kids. So it's just one person. Like I said, I put a little bit aside because she's one I'm anticipating for. And her boyfriend, he's a good guy. I trust him. His mother, good lady too. They don't know what we do. They probably, I don't know, they probably get an idea. They probably know we're pretty. We're into firearms, but and just have general knowledge about things. But I don't think they really know what we do because she does. She says she don't even tell them. But she has medical skills, and he's a good guy. I trust him. So if it came to it, I would probably take them in, as well. But in my opinion, distant family is the same as neighbors you don't know, right? They need the same supplies as your family does. You may see it differently, but I see my wife and daughter first. And again, I'm not going to take food off my daughter's plate for those who don't care enough about themselves or their family to take an hour or two out of a day instead of spending their precious time on Facebook day after day, right? Instead of looking at what's happening around them. Now, because you're probably not just going to turn your family away, I got a solution. Oh man. The simple solution would be to help them out. You could stock up on just beans and rice, right? Put them in 5-gallon buckets, big old 5-gallon Mylar bag, some oxygen absorbers, and you seal them up. And what you can tell them, if they come around, is that you had quit prepping because, like you told them, everybody made fun of them. And that never happened. But luckily, you had left a couple in the closet you forgot about. You have 2 canisters or 2 buckets of rice, 2 of beans. You'll give them half. But that's all you have. So use it wisely, and it should last till this blows over. You don't know how long it's going to last, but don't let them know you know that. Just tell them, hey, look, when this is over, you owe me big time, and we're both going to put aside. And that's what I would do. Now, I would highly, 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 highly recommend you buy dehydrated beans and instant rice. Okay? Because cooking smells can be dangerous. Let's say, okay, there's 2... say they live in an apartment. There's 2 layouts that I know of. You've got like a townhome kind of where you've got your apartment and the door leads outside. The main entrance to your apartment leads outside. And, each unit has its own entrance, leading out. And then you have apartments like a hotel setup or like Seinfeld, where there's a big old building. There's a main entrance, and then you got like a hallway, and those hallways have the doors to the main entrance to the individual apartments. Say you give some food, you give rice and beans to a family, and again, it's just rice and beans. I mean, the way I see it, they're gonna get sick of eating rice and beans, but it sure beats starving to death, especially if they didn't take the time to prep themselves, right? And also with these rice and bean buckets, I would recommend you put some aside for yourself, right? If you live in the city, put some in a storage shed or something. You can bury them, hide them somewhere, just in case something happens, you have a plan B. If something happens to your home or something, it could bail you out too. But, back to my point here, depending on the apartment, if they live in one like on Seinfeld or something where it's go inside in the main building with all the apartments and doors. Let's say they're cooking rice and beans. Well, rice and beans take a little while to cook, right? Especially the beans, and they give off a smell. So if they open the door, the smell comes out. You've got everybody on that in that hallway, you know, probably the floor, but at least around in that area, are going to smell it, and they're going to know what it is and where it's coming from. And you know, when your door is just held in place by a wooden piece of wood that's like less than an inch thick, you can easily kick that door in. Somebody's going to kick in that door, and then they might be put into a situation where they have no chance, no other choice but to talk. You know, where did you get this food, right? And do you think, even if they're family, do you think they're going to put your family before theirs, right? They may not think of lying. I mean, you know, in a stressful situation, somebody's threatening your kids or something, they might not think about it. They might just blab out the truth. And then you've got people coming looking for that supplies. Or they simply put their wife and kids first, and okay, I'll tell you where, you know, just don't hurt my family. And they tell them. What I recommend is the dehydrated rice and beans. I like to buy off of Harmony House. And basically, there's all kinds of dehydrated fruits and veggies and you know, beans and stuff like that. There's vegetable protein, and just all kinds of stuff. I'll leave a link in the description bar. And basically, I'll show you what I've been doing with those. One sec. I'm putting together basically my own version of like just emergency foods. Like you got Weiss, Mountain House, Legacy, and I've decided it's much cheaper, and I can, you know, individually or set it up individually, you know, my family's taste here. But I mean, you can do this yourself. I'm gonna make a video about it. Cheesy broccoli and rice, right? I took the minute rice medley. It's got like wild rice, brown rice. I forget what else. It had a couple different, like 3 or 4 different types of rice in here. So I took the minute rice. I took some dehydrated broccoli I got off of Mountain House, and the Kraft macaroni and cheese, a little powdered packet. I used the pasta for something else, and I, you know, basically measured it up, and this is enough to take care of my family. This will take care of us for a day, at least one meal a day. I've got some breakfast I'm setting up, because basically if you look at these emergency foods, it's the same stuff over and over, the same ingredients. Instant rice, instant beans, instant potato, instant oatmeal, just add water pancakes, granola, quick cook pastas, just the same ingredients set up different ways. So I just started to do it myself. But you can also, like I say, buy these items in bulk. That's what I did, and then I measured them up. Buy them in bulk. Get a food grade plastic container, a 5-gallon container. Put them in Mylar, throw a couple oxygen absorbers, and you seal them. And then just hot water. 15 minutes later, they've got their food, you know, rehydrated and hot, ready to go. Very little cooking smell. They the trash, they can just roll it up, throw it away. I have cans too. I figure I'd go through what's my pantry first, and then I hit up all the cans that I have. But cans produce a lot of trash. You know, when the stores are empty, you don't want to be using cans. I mean, I've made chicken soup out of cans, canned chicken, canned corn, canned potatoes. You know, all the like a what is it? A chuck wagon mix. Everything out of cans, and it produces a lot of trash, and that can't be refrigerated. But anyway, it produces a lot of trash. The trash that you produce with this, you just roll it up, you know, tape it or rubber band it. And you can drop it off somewhere or bury it somewhere. You know, really easy to hide, right? Nobody would notice, and it's not that noisy. You know, you can have a couple of those, 5 of those. As to where you had 5 cans. Well, you know, it's gonna make some noise. But that's my recommendation. That way you keep them safe. If you're gonna go down that route and do hand out food, if you can trust them, you're keeping them safe as well, because if somebody smells that, they're going to go in there and get it. But anyway, my 2 cents on that. If you're going to help, do it where you won't risk your own family. My family comes first, right? And I've got those buckets myself. I got some here. If I had to, of those family I trusted, I would give them that. And I wouldn't tell them anything else I have here. Just tell them to ration that out. And I have some in a couple alternate locations. I would get sick of eating rice and beans, so would my family, but we'd have food. And no cooking smells. That would be my 2 cents, guys. Again, you know, everybody's situation would be unique. But can you trust the people that come at the door? And are you willing to divide your supplies even though you have a limited amount? Again, you know, like I broke it down, how your supply can be cut down big time by adding a couple mounts. Anyway, I'm going to leave links in the description bar that'll help you out. And that's about it. You guys have a good one. I'm working on a video about cooking smells. I actually did a video, but I never uploaded it. My computer went down, and I found some links I was going to add on to the description bar of that, and I realized I never put it up. I put one up. I made it. I left it there. And then I noticed Miss Sincere did a video about it. And I liked it. There was a couple things I'd tweak. I wouldn't say she's wrong. I would tweak things to do it a little bit differently. But, yeah. Mine just sat there, and I figured I'd post that one I'm redoing here. I'm going to go over some recipes and stuff like that. But sub, and you'll see when this comes up, I'll talk about that. I'll do 1 or 2 more videos on this stuff. Y'all have a good one.